You're listening to the Boo Boys podcast.
All right. Well, my name's Dalton.
My name's Joey.
And we're the Boo Boys. Or I'm a Boo Boy. And
I'm also a Boo Boy.
Oh, you're a Boo Boy officially?
I mean, that's up to you guys, I guess. But
I mean, you haven't had your indoctrination trip yet to, really make you a Boo Boy just yet.
True.
But
true.
if you want to be a Boo Boy for sure.
I have not brought the sacrifice to the god Moloch, or whatever it is. I don't know. Which is, what are we, I guess? Are we pagans? Are we fucking Rothschild,
the Boo Boys are an all-inclusive group. You can be anything that you want.
Cool.
Yeah, honestly.
I'll find somebody to sacrifice somebody
you'll probably
to.
just get made fun of.
I never read up on mythology about this kind of shit,
Well, that's the one thing that I told you to do before you came here, and here we are. Honey Swamp and the Death Worm. What else could you need?
Yes, the Trevor's Worm. Mongolian Death Worms.
Well, obviously this week we're going to do the Honey Island Swamp Monster and the Mongolian Death Worm, so we've gone ahead and introduced that, I guess. Normally
yes.
I more specifically introduce
I apologize for that.
But, hey, anyway is better than no way. We're going to go ahead and talk about them and their creatures that supposedly thrive in the depths of the swamps.
Swamp Thing. Which was a mad decent show. They should have given it another season.
Swamp Thing? Yeah,
it was a DC. It's a DC comic property.
Huh.
And I don't think it might have been on CW, which is probably why they canceled it, because CW doesn't know what the fuck to do about anything. But I think it was like DC's originals right before they canceled them all and then threw everything onto some WB HBO, whatever that streaming service is. So yeah, they hope they bring it back, but they're probably not gonna.
I mean, if they did, if it's on HBO, it would probably have better funding.
Definitely. Well, it's HBO Max. It's that.
It's the new service. I have it. That's where Wonder Woman is.
Honestly, it's I don't mean to suck WB's dick here real quick. You could definitely cut this out if you want.
Back in the day, they were fucking bomb.
Yeah, it's of the streaming services that I have, it's if I had to lose them all and only keep one, it'd be the one I kept.
Which one did you keep?
It would be the one I kept, I'm saying.
Which one did you keep? Oh, HBO Max, okay.
Yeah, HBO Max would be the one that I kept. I don't even pay for it's my sister's Netflix. I pay for my Amazon Prime, which I also feel bad about because I don't want to support Bezos, but he won, so.
Yeah, that's the one place you can find almost 70% of everything.
Yeah, and they make some damn good shows and movies. They really do. I hate to say it, but they make some great shit.
Miss Maisel will forever be one of my fucking favorite shows.
It's just gender swapped Lenny Bruce. It's fucking fantastic. And The Boys is great.
Vast Night Sky or something like that. That one's really good too.
I haven't seen that
it's
one.
about aliens.
Ooh, I should check it out.
Yeah, it's really good. It's like almost Twilight Zone-y, but not quite exactly that, if that makes sense.
No,
it's that time frame.
I had to see that Jack Ryan show too. I was really into Tom Clancy books when I was a kid, but I was also one of those fake intellectuals who just it took me 6 months to read the fucking book because it's all in, it's not made for a kid to understand. It's I'm reading these smart books that are super thick, and I was really into them. So I think I would enjoy the Jack Ryan show, even though it's not the stories that Tom Clancy wrote. It's just the same character.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like John Krasinski. His wife is hot.
They're both hot.
They're both so hot.
They could both take me, and I'd be fine with it.
That movie she did with Tom Cruise was great. The Groundhog Day one, Edge of Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about the movie a lot. I really like it. It's for a dumb action movie. It's my favorite dumb action movie. Sorry, tangents.
You're fine. So there is said to be a rabid creature that resides within the Pearl River in Louisiana near Fort Pike and Fort Macomb, kind of in the middle there in their little ruiny area. Rumor has it that there was a number of escaped circus chimps that basically went through the swamp and decided to mate with some alligators, which still doesn't seem...
Gator chimps. Yes.
Yeah, gator chimps, Chimp-A-Gators.
Chimp-A-Gators,
that doesn't seem real. But, we recorded this one time, and I feel like we got super in-depth, and I really want to try and bring some of that back because we made some really good fucking
We were talking
points.
about, is the biology compatible between reptiles and mammals? Which it isn't.
Yeah,
because, it just, basically it is not.
The reproduction standards just don't make sense.
A person can't fuck a chimp and make a child. Just chromosomal differences and shit just don't allow for that. But, if these are research chimps, and they have been experimented upon, maybe these chimps got magic sperm. Who knows?
I mean, these could
Maybe.
also be like inbred alligators that have their
Yes.
DNA all fucked up
They
because
could
they've
be-
been
Like what? How diverse is the alligator gene pool? They've been around for like
millions of years. They're
Yeah.
like one of the oldest animals.
yeah, and it's just they're like a log with feet, you know.
Mhm.
And
Don't they live to be like 100 and some odd years
I
old?
think I don't know if gators do. I know crocodiles do, but I'm
Right.
not sure how different the two of them are. I know they're the same family, but
One's dry and one's wet.
I think they're both wet, aren't they?
Crocodiles spend more time on land. Alligators spend
Yeah.
more time in water.
I know saltwater crocodiles in Australia are the ones that live to like 90 something, and the way they figure out how old they are is like the size.
Mhm.
They grow at a constant rate,
It's probably all the salt.
so like
Just keeps them, you know?
it just preserves them.
Yeah.
I think it's because they're eating like water buffalo and shit.
What, like lean meats?
Well,
Keeps
no,
them going?
just like they're eating big shit. But well, probably not in Australia. I don't know what the fuck wildlife they have there besides. They probably have cat. They definitely have cattle there, but like besides like the native wildlife, I don't know how much else they got.
Yeah.
But I know they eventually either just outgrow their food source and starve to death because they're too big, or they get killed. Like that's kind of the only thing that happens to them,
That's pretty wild.
right? Steve Irwin was the man.
Could you imagine trying to kill like a crocodile that's like bigger than you?
Yeah, or if you're like an old like ancient human or like an aboriginal or something like that, you don't have a gun, you know, or you know.
You just got a stick and a rock.
Yeah. Imagine trying to like garrot, whatever that word is, where like you just garrot, however the word, you know, with the wire chain,
Strangle him.
just trying to strangle a
You got
crocodile.
a piano wire just out in the middle of the fucking outback.
Wire on that giant neck of crocodile's got. Just really going at it, and he's just chomping this shit.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if crocodiles are the same way, but like alligators, if you just like pinch
You can
their
tape their
mouth,
mouth shut.
yeah. So like
because
I think a
the
crocodile.
down force is like insane, but not the up force.
Yeah, but I feel like a crocodile would be pretty similar.
I'm sure they are. Where you could still like tape their mouth shut.
Because like crabs can keep alligators like.
I'm also pretty sure they got like the strongest bite in the animal kingdom right now, besides like great white sharks. So I wouldn't want to fuck with them. And we've all seen how gators, like, you know how gators.
Yeah, they do the roll.
That
The death
roll is
roll.
scary. That roll is scary. You ever see the video of the gator ripping the other gator's arm off?
Mhm.
And the other one just looks at him like, "Really, bro?" Holy shit!
A little part of me when I
I don't think they feel pain.
did you see the new first Jurassic Park that came out? Jurassic.
with Chris Pratt? Jurassic
Yeah.
World.
The first one, not the second one that just came out.
Where they have the giant. Where at the end, the
It's
giant.
basically a giant fucking alligator.
Yeah, weird kind of.
I really wanted
Loch Ness
to
Monster
see
type
that thing do the barrel turn, like that death roll.
This is the death roll.
Yeah, like how, like that thing is
But
huge.
I don't think it came onto land. I think its whole thing was like it was
Could
big
you
enough to not have to
imagine
worry
it
about
doing it in the water? They can do it in the
You
water.
remember how much they fucked up the nanny in that movie? The nanny was like that British woman who didn't give a shit about the kids.
Oh yeah,
and then when she finally
wasn't
gets
she like the assistant?
Yeah,
she didn't
or
actually
something like
care
that.
about
but
them.
when she gets got by the dinosaur, she gets like lifted off by a pterodactyl and then like played with by two other pterodactyls.
Yep.
And then like drowned halfway and then scooped up again, and then the pterodactyl gets eaten by the giant moose.
Yep.
So like it's
They really just said fuck you.
yeah, they backed over her with a truck and then like shot her twice and lit her on fire. Like it was
She's like a cartoon.
Yeah, it was just either cartoony or gruesome. Just some awful shit. I remember watching it like, this is for kids? This is a PG-13 movie? Goddamn.
You know, we had a lot of traumatic things happen in the movies we watched as kids. I can only assume that they're trying to.
Yeah, remember the lawyer getting eaten in Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
The original? When he's on
like,
the toilet,
yeah.
the T-Rex breaks the outhouse.
Isn't there like a really bad one in the second one too, where they're like on the island researching and like one of the guys just gets got?
Oh, I'm sure. In the first one, you have Samuel L. Jackson's like severed arm.
Yeah. When you get
in the third one, there's some fucked up shit. The third one was the really bad one.
The first one had Newman getting like blinded by a fucking dinosaur and then
the one that
falling
spat.
down. Yeah.
It was Newman. It was. And he was such a cartoon in that thing with the Barbasol can and shit.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Getting back on topic.
Back on track. Sorry.
They're said to mainly live off of wild boars, and basically just like smaller animals that live nearby. So
If they can eat a boar too, it's a scary fucking animal.
but is it
Gators
like,
can though, can't? I'm sure they can.
I think we tried to like get into it. Like, how are they eating it though? Like, do they just like tear pieces off, or so because it's a Chimp-A-Gator, it was like, do they have like opposable limbs?
But that had to do with the way they were finding like boar carcasses, and
Right.
cattle carcasses,
Because they were like gutted.
They were finding them. Were they butchered or were they gutted? Like were they? Well, I guess the whole thing was it a slice or a rip?
Right. So
We were just trying to figure out if it was done with like a tool or not.
the first sighting of this cryptid, the Honey Island swamp monster, was in 1963 by Harlan Ford, who had recently decided to take up wildlife photography. Basically, he like retired and was like, I'm just gonna go shoot animals because take photos of animals because that's what everybody does when they're old.
Yes.
And so he basically took video of them on Super 8 film, so like super old. And at some point, almost 10 years later in 1974, he came across like the body of a wild boar that had been torn open from belly to throat. So from the stomach all the way up to its chin, basically. It was just like totally torn open, which doesn't sound like if like I were to picture an alligator just by itself eating a boar, it would just like
It would chomp,
yeah, and swallow.
But we were talking about like with the difference between rip and cut, and I was talking about like, well, that's how you would gut an animal and like start to butcher it, but also like we were talking about, did it look like it was done with a tool?
So is there a difference between a rip and a tear?
No, rip and tear I think mean the same thing.
Yeah.
Or a tear is like a rip is the verb, I guess, but tear also is a verb. So good. But okay. We were thinking, or I wanted to fuck. What was the thing I was gonna say? We were shitting about shit. Oh yes, yeah. You said you took Super 8 film of these things.
Yeah.
Is that film like anywhere visible? 'Cause I would love to see that, even if it's all shitty in Super 8.
You know, I'm not really sure. I didn't see anything about his film being specifically available anywhere. Let me see if I can do a quick search here. Just like last time when we did a million Google searches because half of the shit was like, wait, what about this?
Yeah. I'm gonna Google this.
So I have here a photo of what the Chimp-A-Gator's foot would essentially look like.
Oh, yes.
And it's got like an elongated
See, that's
heel,
very like...
and then like alligator-y toes.
That also is just a gator print, though. Or it could be a gator print, because you know how their arms are like... Their arms are so stubby that like it would be up to their elbow, almost. They're that print.
Don't they have like...
They have that exact finger structure.
They have like a hand... Not a hand print, obviously, but like
three
hand and the
toes
wrist
with a thumb sort of toe,
Yeah.
and they're all webbed like that. But also...
But when they're walking like on all fours, let's say, right, and they're just like standing up, they have like wrists, don't they?
Yeah, but like if, say, okay, here's what I think. Okay, I don't want to immediately say no because I do also want to like start like shooting the shit about if this were real, how it would be structured on the thing. But so like I think as far as this, if this is a gator print, which I think it is, like right there, I think would be the wrist, and just because it's not showing up, it's because they got fat wrists, you know. And imagine it's laying flat.
So
so like I think like the end of that is probably its elbow. But if that were a Chimp-A-Gator, if that were like the foot of a Chimp-A-Gator, the chimps would have to have like developed like, you know, heels and shit, you know, like upright walking feet. But say they did, and say they fucked the gators, and say that's a Chimp-A-Gator print. That is kind of Swamp Thing looking. Like that's what you'd expect with the webbed feet and shit.
Right.
Also, gators are like that. Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Such a good movie.
Great movie.
So like this is what their little hands look like.
These gator prints?
Yeah. Alligator prints.
Aww. They're little feet.
See, but they're a little bit more triangular there.
That's true. That's true.
I think that's front and that's back. Maybe.
I'm not too sure.
See, look, front and back.
Don't they kind of tend to drag themselves when they walk? I mean, I'm sure it depends on how big the gator is individually, but like we've all seen those videos, like the giant ones on the pole.
I mean, like I know, like they're
trudging across.
Their tails drag for sure.
I know they're also like a lazy animal. They spend most of their time just I say lazy, but like they spend most of their time like sunbasking and shit because they got 6 brain cells in there, and they eat like a fucking.
Oh no, they definitely when they walk, they're like a dog.
Okay.
Like look at this thickums. Look at that fat fuck. Look at him go. That's
like one of the ones. Yeah, that's one of the ones they saw on like the golf course in Florida. That's hysterical. It's so.
but there's definitely like room
it's
from the floor from its stomach.
It's like if a wiener dog mixed with like a handbag, you know?
That's 2 wiener dogs. You got one in the front and one in the back with the tail. But you can see here, like even in this photo of the gator on the green, you can see that the elbow does come off the ground. So they have that wrist there where it's like front hand is, and then its back one definitely
sort of a heel structure.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that it definitely could be a back foot, but
I definitely shouldn't have started talking about structure. I don't know fuck about anatomy, but I don't know shit about anything. Like.
There it is. No, wait, I lied.
Oh,
Link did not lie. It does.
Yes. I want to see this Super 8 footage. Very, very. What's that Bigfoot film? Not the Zapruder film. That's the Kennedy getting shot, but the. You know that Bigfoot film I'm talking about?
Yeah, like the original that everybody knows.
The very famous one where it's like, oh, it's got tits, and it's like, why does it have tits? Why would Bigfoot have tits? Chimps don't have like apes don't have tits. Like we have tits.
Some guys have tits.
Well, yes, but like if it's an ape, apes don't have tits in the same way we have tits.
I mean, maybe. So like, they do if they're fat. Inner chimps don't, for sure.
You think Bigfoot's fat? You call him Bigfoot fat?
He kind of looks like he has a beer gut most of the time, though.
Okay,
I see him.
How many animals, like, how often does an animal get fat in the wild?
How often are animals bipedal?
I mean, relatively.
Well, like, those types of mammals. No.
That whole Australopithecus thing. Have you looked into that? There was like an ancient, I think during the Ice Age or something, there was a species of primate that lived, I think, almost like all across North America and Asia. But it might have just been in certain regions. I could be wrong about that. But it was essentially like an 8-foot tall fucking gorilla man. Like, it looks like, if you see like an artist recreation of it or like an archaeologist recreation of it, it looks like Bigfoot. It's like, I think I've
heard of it. Like, I think I saw like a documentary when I was a kid,
like
on Discovery or something.
Like that they were like, they definitely existed at a time when people did too, and I'm sure it's just like, I don't want to say genetic memory, but almost a genetic memory, so to speak, of like, we know that it was probably some scary fucking thing that used to fuck with us if we went near it. So now if we see something that looks similar to it, it just instills that fear into us.
They say that that's like the same reason that a lot of people are like afraid of the dark, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's the instinct of like, you don't know what's in there.
Exactly. So they say that this creature is said to look like a tall furry biped, which we already know, with dark green hued with skin with like a honey golden like fur coat kind of a look to it.
Like perfectly cooked chicken fingers.
Yeah, perfectly golden. Finger looking good.
Golden.
And it's said to have yellow eyes and large alligator webbed feet. So they specify that he has webbed feet, but not hands.
Okay.
And he's bipedal, so we have to assume that they don't count his arms as feet.
I would assume that he also has webbed feet if it is the gator thing, just because.
Webbed hands?
Webbed hands, yes. Because, like, if it's a swamp creature, then.
But if it is a Chimp-A-Gator, does it have 5 ligaments, or does it have the 3 or 4?
These chimps escaped in, like, the 20s or something like that, right? Like, it was almost 100 years ago, or 100 years ago or so. I don't want to say that for certain, but I remember something like that. I remember we were talking about how old could these chimps have been, and like, could it have just been a chimp that somehow survived alone out there when this dude got the footage?
Yeah, so the train supposedly happened in the 30s.
1930s, okay. Imagine trying to fucking study chimps in the 30s. How scary that would be.
Imagine the first
person to get fucked up by a chimp before, like, when they all thought they were chill, and then one went crazy.
Imagine the first person that was like, it's probably some British fuck, but like in like a high society standard where they like wear clothing and read and do this kind of stuff, and they see their first chimp, and then they just like,
they used to not think lowland gorilla. Yeah, I don't remember if it was lowland gorillas or not. It's the same thing. Like, imagine seeing a gorilla, just being like, that is like the most ripped a human can be, but with tiny legs. Yeah.
How unfortunate if you were like the most ripped human being with the tiniest legs.
Like baby legs from the Rick and Morty episode, But because that's why they walk on their upper body, I assume, because it's like
easier.
Yeah.
You got longer limbs.
Definitely.
There's no running for gorillas.
They're gonna kill them.
Yeah, I mean, they use their arms to like really pull them forward. They're not just like, like.
Do they count as quadrupedal? I think they do, don't they?
I would say so.
Is there a word for omnipedal or something like that? Is omnipedal the word?
Maybe. Are gorillas omnipedal? Looks like there aren't many great matches for your search.
Yeah, it's probably not.
I broke Google.
Is there a word for something that switches between bipedal and quadrupedal?
Chimpanzees, gorillas, and gibbons, macaws, and spider monkeys, chimpanzees, and similar animals like that are all frequently considered bipedal.
Okay. I guess as far as I can tell, there's not like a problem.
It's because they're able to like stand and walk upright.
Okay.
So I guess like even though they have stumpy legs and they use their arms more to like move faster because they have the ability to stand up and like straight stand up,
Yeah,
considered bipedal.
It fucked me up when I found out that kangaroos are like not necessarily bipedal like that.
The idea that there's just this weird ass fucking Chimp-A-Gator with like chicken tender golden fur chilling out in the middle of the swamp, and people were just like, yeah,
I remember we were talking about in the first one, we should revisit this, about, okay, so we were talking about, like, there must be a breeding population of them, right?
Right.
If they still exist. But also we were talking about, because crocodiles, we know, can get old as shit. And just off our dummy assumptions, I assume gators can get similarly old.
Yeah.
So to speak. Is that?
I think we looked it up, and it said
that they can still get to like 75.
Yeah, 75 or 80 or something like that.
So, if this guy recorded this footage in the 80s or 90s, or 70s, you said, right?
Right.
70s. Then that's only 40 years after these chimps escaped. I think it is possible that he legitimately just saw, like, the last of the chimps if it somehow managed to hide that long. Like, I think they live long enough for that to be a possibility. But also,
I don't know if they would have much to eat out there.
That's true, too. But if this chimp fucked this gator, and if this gator laid an egg, and that egg was a Chimp-A-Gator, or if the gator fucked the chimp, we don't know. I assume the gator did not fuck the chimp.
Well, so then we looked it up, right? We wanted to determine whether or not the reproduction would be possible, and it's the fact that, like, and I remember this part.
Chromosomes, I don't think, right?
Well, no, realistically, in science, no, they cannot. But for the sake of the show,
yes, we
went into it. And so, because alligators lay eggs and chimps are mammals and they carry everything internally, technically, I think it would have to be that the alligator would have to basically fuck the chimp, right? Because the alligator sperm would be able, technically, let's say in the show,
to gestate internally, whereas
right?
The sperm would not.
Yeah.
Okay, or not be able to gestate externally.
But then we also had to determine whether or not an alligator could fuck a chimp, because what if they had a cloaca like a bird, since they're similar to dinosaurs?
Yes.
But after a quick Google search, it was determined that they don't have cloaca. Alligators have dicks,
Yeah,
and
they got big old floppy gator dicks.
They're not floppy. They're always hard.
Right? Aren't they like tiny and rock, like the little spurs almost? Or am I wrong? Were they tiny?
I don't remember the size of.
I did remember.
They were always hard
because they're full of testosterone.
They're constantly just like raging hard.
Maybe not because they're full of testosterone, but I'm sure a gator is also like a. I'm sure all those super fucking heavy reptile animals are just like raw testosterone.
So, like, one thing I want to know, is it, like, retractable? Because,
that's a good question.
If you see a gator and you were to, like, see its stomach, you don't, like, see a dick just, like, hanging out.
How often do you see a gator flipped over onto its stomach, though? Or onto its back? Exposing
I mean, I have an idea in my head of like, what a gator's belly looks like.
Yeah, but is it accurate? Because I don't know. I can definitely picture what I assume a gator's belly to look like, but I don't know if it makes any sense.
I don't think it will.
Like, so... Okay, so the I know the gender, or the sex, I should say, of a baby alligator is determined by the temperature of the nest. I remember. So whoa. Sorry, Dalton just handed me a photo of a dead gator flipped over with its dick out, and I did not expect that. I did not expect it. It looks like. I can't tell if that's foreskin around it, just like flopped over.
So
it's either coming out of like an airbag looking thing.
Retract.
Oh, so I assume that's foreskin then. Does it count as foreskin if it is scaly?
Is it foreskin or is it the balls?
It could be the balls. It could be the scrotum.
Yeah.
Oh, here, I'm looking at another picture of it. Yep, those are balls. Those are gator balls. Okay. That is some gator scrot. Here you go. That is. I wonder if it's cold. If the gator's cold. Do the gators experience shrinkage? Can you experience shrinkage if you have scaly skin? Because I feel like your skin doesn't. Can you experience
shrinkage if you are cold-blooded?
That's true too. That's a good question. Are there any bugs with dicks? there are bugs with dicks, right? Because I wonder if you could experience shrinkage with an exoskeleton. That's essentially the question I'm leading up to. And I know gators don't have an exoskeleton, but I know scales also restrict they must restrict the way you're fucking butt. That's a trip.
Chimp-A-Gators.
Chimp-A-Gators, yeah. Yeah. So she showed me a photo of one of those like gator hand puppets biting what looks like some sort of plastic joke dildo.
So,
and that's I assume if the chimp was getting blown by the gator, kind of like a Melina from Mortal Kombat scenario.
So I mean, this is gonna sound really weird, but I'm like trying to look at these alligator dicks to determine if that would even fit in a chimp.
I don't think it would. I don't think it would.
I don't know.
See, here's the thing: like a human dick fits in a horse. We've all seen Mr. Hands. Okay, we also know a horse dick fits in a human, just not very well. Because again, we've all seen Mr. Hands.
Though, okay, so I mean, an alligator is huge, right? But like their dicks, realistically compared to size, don't look that big.
It looks like a one of those shitty Bluetooth stereo speakers your mom would get you for Christmas with SpongeBob's nose hanging out of it.
Oh my god,
that's what it looks like. Tell me I'm wrong. Oh, god damn it, Vasya. Tell me I'm wrong though.
No, but like that's what I'm saying though. Like it doesn't actually look like it wouldn't fit though. It's not that big.
Yeah,
like it's not the size of a horse.
It definitely looks like.
So I think a chimp could totally take that. And
you think a chimp flipped this gator over and just started fucking cowgirling it or something?
You're assuming that the chimp wanted it.
Well, I don't think a gator can get into a position to mount a chimp.
Lay on top of it.
You have to fucking lift a bulldog up for them to fuck. Okay, you're telling me an alligator is gonna mount a bipedal ape?
Well, they do have shorter legs,
back legs. But because of that, they kind of are torso upright.
What if they were sleeping?
Jesus Christ! What if this gator was like a night rapist?
Exactly.
What if this gator climbed in these chimps' windows and snatched their people up, trying to rape them?
Well, so the chimps, I'm assuming, probably would have wanted to like sleep in trees and stuff. But there aren't like super huge trees in the swamps, right? So what if like one
there's some decently sized, but there's a lot of mangrove trees,
right?
Where it's like where the root system is above the water.
What if they weren't quite adapted yet to like the swamp, so they weren't sure what to do, so they just found like a quiet looking area to sleep, but it ended up being too close to the water, and an alligator just like snuck up on a chimp and like
What if the alligator? Yeah, what if it could have been a lot of things, okay? It could have been
if we're assuming that alligators that are
we've all had an ex tell us that they fell on someone's dick. Or that they fell and their dick fell into somebody, okay? I'm sure if we haven't had this told to us, I mean, I haven't legitimately, but we've all heard the jokes, okay?
If we're just assuming that alligators are always bone hard, rock hard, strong, like going all the time because of testosterone, I mean, an alligator's gonna see that chimp just sitting there having a good old time, and he's probably a kinky alligator because they're so horny.
I don't think how many animals have sex for pleasure? I don't think
not
it's a
very
big.
Many.
I don't think gators are one of them.
No, probably not.
Because I know dolphins do, but they're also like.
There's
terrible.
also another random animal that does too.
I think bonobos. There's certain kinds of. I'm sure apes do. I'm almost positive apes do. At least great apes like chimps and orangutans and shit, and bonobos and shit like that. But I remember seeing some study about they essentially set up like a currency system for a troop of chimps or bonobos or one of those, and maybe it was baboons. And then a couple weeks in, they had like prostitute fucking monkeys and shit.
Pigs apparently do.
Really? Okay. Don't pigs have like 30-minute orgasms? Yeah. I remember seeing something about that.
Yeah, apparently.
Jesus Christ! Imagine that O face.
Do you think they squeal?
For a half hour. They definitely squeal. That's why we hear it. That's why farmers hear them.
Apparently.
I was at this writer's retreat thing a couple days ago, and someone brought up that movie that like squeal like a pig, boy, squeal for me, that like terrible fucking haunting scene. And now we're talking about pig cum.
Apparently, chimps and primates have clitorises. Clitori.
Do most animals with genitalia not have clitori? Clitoriuses? Clitorium. Deliverance is the movie. Deliverance.
Yes.
Is that Falcon?
I don't know. They stated that on the Wikipedia article very specifically that primates and chimps have them. So
no, it's John Voight and Burt Reynolds, not. Sorry.
But I don't. It didn't say the other animals did or not.
I'm very See, I want to know, but I don't want this in my search history. Yeah, like I don't want to end up on a government watch list about chip dicks.
You won't.
Sounds uncomfy.
That's not something they're tracking.
They might be.
Not yet.
They might be.
Not until we have the chimp overlords that are against like human chimp breeding.
There's going to be some division of the CIA that's worried about Planet of the Apes right now.
It's CIA.
Is one of these
Chimps intelligence agency.
Is one of these people going to fuck a monkey and make a smart monkey? Then we're going to have.
That's the real reason bestiality is like illegal. They're afraid.
They're worried about hybrids.
Exactly.
I think it's because.
What were those
Animorph
books?
Yes,
they were afraid of those.
On the cover, it'd be like a human being, and then like a praying mantis, and it would like horribly
do
morph.
That little like on the pages, and it would like.
Yes, and I never read one of them.
Nope.
Did anyone ever read one of them?
You know, I know some people.
There's 1,000 of them.
I know some people that read them like religiously because they thought they were like a good book series, and I just like.
There's like 100.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's like every single animal.
Yes.
I'm like, how many times can you rewrite the same story?
It's just like a random kid morph into an animal.
Yeah, like how can you
like
write that
every
story?
single one of those is a meme-worthy photo.
They don't even form like a super troop that I know of.
So is it about people that turn into animals? I assume so, but again, I have never had an interest in reading.
I don't even think I've ever read a synopsis of one of them. I just always
like the title is Animorph.
Yeah, I remember pulling the books out and always looking at the little corner of pages to watch them morph into the animal, and that was it. Is this book about?
There had to have been one of these kids who was like, I turned into a squirrel because I like fucking squirrels or something like that.
I love nuts.
There had to have been one weird ass kid who was like that. They're all that prepubescent weird hormonal age.
There are 54 main books.
Jesus Christ. Are they all written by one person?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this man smokes crack.
So Animorphs. We're cycling back here because I had to look it up because I really just I just need to know. Okay, I need to know. So 54 fucking books. The story revolves around 5 humans:
only 5 books.
Jake, Marco, Cassie, Rachel, and Tobias, and 1 alien, Aximili Escaralth Isthel, nicknamed Axe.
Oh, that's a hell of a name. Yeah, Aximili Escaralth Isthel. Yeah. I didn't know.
Fuck you, I can read.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know if you were just butchering it or if it's just like gibberish. Apparently gibberish.
Yeah. So they apparently obtain the ability to transform into any animal they touch, naming themselves Animorphs. They use their ability to battle a secret alien infiltration of Earth by a parasitic race of aliens resembling large slugs called Yeerks.
Okay, that is slightly more badass than it would be because they're all like little beast boys.
So those slugs, the Yeerks, can take any living creature as a host by entering and emerging with their brain through the ear canal. The Animorphs fight as a guerrilla force against the Yeerks, who are led by Visser 3.
Okay, so I'm a little more interested in this series. I'm not going to read 54 fucking books.
No.
But I'm a little more interested in the series after hearing the synopsis.
These are also like kid books.
Yeah.
So 54 books realistically into like a real book series, like what is that, like 3 or 4 books probably actually make up like a normal book size.
Yeah.
If you had like regular font sizing
quick reads,
and it wasn't like 100 pages.
But again,
that's a lot.
It's a lot. Also, it's not like I hate reading I don't want to say adult.
Okay.
Because I still do read novels and shit.
If that's the premise of your story though, what the fuck is a lizard gonna do?
Maybe
the slugs take over people and you're gonna be a lizard?
Maybe you need to bask in the sun for some reason. Maybe that's like a trial.
You're gonna hold up your girlfriend to the light while she sunbathes.
Yes, I remember that one. Or you just maybe you need to lick your eyeball. Maybe they're like, if you lick your eyeball, we will leave the humans alone. And this thing goes like, and then.
No, you just really need to throw that tail and just let it snap off.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is he had to abandon his tail, so he had to turn to a lizard. And then when he turns back into a human, he's missing a huge chunk of his spine, and he just collapses on the ground. Oh my god! This is turned back into a lizard until it finishes growing back.
That's awful. Well, let's segue into the Mongolian deathworm from this point, because lizards and worms are practically the same thing, right?
Yes, snakes are just worms that are made of
harder
snake. Scaly worms.
They're harder. They have bones.
They do have bones, yes.
Worms don't have bones.
You're correct, as far as I know.
I don't really know what makes up a worm.
Yeah, me neither. I'm sure they don't have bones. There's no way.
No, they don't have bones. I've squished an earthworm, not in a weird way, but
I used to fish and shit.
Yeah. There's no bones in there.
Do these worms have bones?
I'm not gonna Google it. They don't have bones. I'm sticking to it.
These Mongolian death worms. Well, let's do an overview first.
Do I remember? You know what? They have to have bones.
They must. They're that
teeth.
big. Yeah.
Teeth.
Yeah, you're right.
They're bones.
Well,
even if they don't have bones throughout the rest of their body, they got
yeah,
teeth.
you're right. Because sharks at least have a jawbone, even though they don't have any other
teeth,
skeleton.
they have to have like some kind of jaw or like
to hold them
in
place. Yeah.
Yeah, they have to have bones.
Okay, so let's get back to what these things are.
So in the sands of the Gobi Desert, there lies a long, dark, red, sausage-shaped and sized worm. Basically has large spikes kind of just sticking out of its head and its ass, so it's like both sides. And this worm crawls around carrying like a venomous spit that is strong enough to corrode metal and send electric shocks strong enough to kill an adult human.
Jesus. Jesus is born. Jesus Christ. So, what I picture is, the dune worms. I remember we had a debate about size with these, because they weren't like the size of the tremor worms.
Right.
In the actual,
as
far as the cryptid mythology
These are like
goes.
bratwursts.
Yeah, they're small enough to where you could like pick one up, but they're also like, I'm sure you wouldn't want to. They're probably scary as fuck. They're small enough to where it could actually
spit a venomous acid on you, basically.
Yeah. And, it actually makes me think of these things called camel spiders, which I'm going to bring up in a little bit. You know what camel spiders are?
Yeah, I fucking know what camels are. I don't like spiders in general. I know all the fucking spiders.
Well, technically, they're scorpions, but arachnids nonetheless. These things aren't like huge like the tremors worms or the dune worms, but it's still like a scary like fucking. I picture like Elon Musk's boring machine or like a lamprey that just constantly eats and shits out dirt. So
what if they are as big as the tremor worms and we just don't know it?
What if it's like we've only been seeing their tongues, like the Alaskan bullworm?
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Like they're just riding their tongue up to the top to like fucking steal shit, and then they slither it back down. So these things, okay. I'm not sure how much of how deep, so to speak, the sand is in the Gobi Desert. Because if it lives under the sand, it's got to I assume it's like almost swimming through it, so to speak, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, we also does it swim through it, like slither through it, or does it propel itself like an octopus, where it's constantly eating the sand and shitting it out forcefully enough to push itself forward?
I have this idea that it is kind of like, I don't want to call it photosynthesis because that's not, I don't think, the right word. It might be, I don't know, but like, what if it is like filtering through the sand and that it eats from that? Like the little insects and stuff.
Yeah, do you think that's how it pushes itself forward?
Yeah, maybe.
Not photosynthesis, but I don't think.
Yeah. So it's said that the worm is capable of reaching up to 5 feet in length, and it's rumored. Yeah, a tremor worm was probably like
a couple hundred feet.
Yeah,
it was scary as shit.
That close was enough.
That's obviously this is an alien planet type shit.
Well, weren't those just like laying dormant in the ground until they started like what were they doing?
Yeah, they were in like
shit
fucking
up?
Anaheim or something like that. They were in like the Southwest U.S.
What were they? They were drilling for something.
Yeah,
they woke it.
They like set off an earthquake or something like that. Like an earthquake. Yeah, probably drilling for oil or something. I haven't seen those movies in a while. There's a lot of them.
I want to say at least the first 3 might be on Netflix right now.
Oh,
I know
awesome.
the 5th
yes.
one is. I know the 5th
shitty
one is
movie
for
days.
Sure. I'm ready. It's rumored that the worm purposefully will try to attack humans and animals by charging at them through the sand. So, it must not be very deep in the sand if it's doing that realistically.
Yeah.
Unless it feels the vibrations and comes up.
Imagine if these existed in the movie Holes instead of those lizards they had. Do you remember how they had those like poisonous lizards that they were scared of? Imagine if instead of that they were scared of fucking doom worms that would come out of the holes.
Imagine you just got done digging your fucking hole for the day and you just crawled out of it, and then all of a sudden you just hear a loud thud inside the hole you were just in. You turn back and there's just this fucking head of a worm bashing into
instead of the whole plot about finding the fucking the outlaw treasure, the subplot was instead that Shia LaBeouf so deep he hit the mother worm, the queen worm that was laying eggs, and he accidentally fucking split it open. And now they're just they're oh shit, giant worms.
God. Holes 2, fill my holes.
Yes, and John Voight is still in it. They replaced John Voight with Christopher Walken, but it's playing the same character.
God.
Because they look sort of similar, but they have such totally distinct manners of speaking and everything else. Now listen here, Stanley. You gotta understand that these worms are scary. I kept these worms in my ass so I could bring you Your father's watch.
Why his ass?
You've seen Pulp Fiction, right?
Yeah,
You know,
but
he
like,
keeps the watch in his ass.
yeah, but like, these
Okay, if you
worms
have
are
tapeworms,
deadly.
what if you have tapeworms? They're in your ass.
Oh my gosh, his poor ass. You know, we used to sell like electric dildos when I worked at Castle, and like they were these conductive dildos that you could actually touch, and they would
like
send like
taser
small,
dildos.
not quite as strong as a taser, like
But like
just,
electric, but like they would
yeah,
essentially
like you
conduct
touch
through
it,
your
and
body.
like your hand, like if you touched it with your finger would go numb, kind of a thing. Not like numb permanently, just
God.
like you touch it and it's numb, and then you let it go, and then it's like back.
That's hysterical.
Like you're being somewhat electrocuted. And it was so funny to sell those because I would basically just like start by they looked really nice. They were these like pristine. There was a dildo, a buck, eagle balls, and so they were like
Quinoa.
white and gold. And I would preface it by having somebody walk up, and I'd be like, you're not like pregnant, and you don't have any heart issues or anything. And then they'd like give me a weird look and be like, no. And then I'd be like, touch this, and then I would just shock people all day long.
That's his dildo.
Yeah.
Bite these onions.
Just taste it.
Jesus, bite these onions. Oh my God, that's like...
It'll keep the lizards away, but not the worms. Worms like flavor.
So these electric worms, they sound like alien villain, like the xenomorphs, because they with the acid spit. If they're attacking people, why the fuck is a 4 foot or 5 foot or less worm attacking a person? Like bears don't attack people a lot of the time because they're like, this is too much of a fight, not worth the effort. Like,
Well, so I think that
you think something that small would eat like crickets and shit? Yeah.
Well, I think if it's 5 feet, no, it's 5 feet in length, but they don't say what the girth is. So
How girthy are these worms?
exactly, like what if it's like
Are
5
these
feet?
chode worms?
Exactly, if it's 5 feet in length and like this big old thick worm, and it's like coming up, is it feeling the vibrations from people walking
What
around?
if it looks like a basking shark?
Oh no!
Basking shark.
Oh no!
You know
And it's
what I'm
just like
talking
yeah.
Yeah.
So like imagine it just feels the vibrations in the sand of like a person walking, and it just
Imagine you're walking through the desert and this motherfucker is just shooting through the sand at you.
that's what I'm
Glum,
thinking.
glum, 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 glum.
That's what I'm thinking is like they're just chilling going through the sand, and then they feel some vibrations of like a human or an animal or something up there. They don't know how big that thing is. They just know that it's food because there's movement, and so then they just like make their way up through the sand, and then they get you by the feet, and then whatever like lands in their mouth lands in their mouth.
Yeah. It could be like, you know how with a shark they just like will tear whatever part they bite off,
Yeah.
and with a crocodile they just, if they bite that part of you, it's coming with them kind of thing. What if it's some shit like that?
That's what I'm thinking.
What? They like swallow your foothold, they get like halfway up to your knee, and they just like with their, I assume, rotating jaws, because this is scary
it has
world
to.
here. Yeah, the multiple rotating jaws, like that Transformers villain that eats the pyramid in the second one. Just snaps your leg off, eats it like a wood chipper, and fucks off into the sand.
And you're just like stuck there, now bleeding out basically.
Yeah, you got one leg, and it like, and because of the acid, now it probably seals the wound, but it also like chemically burns your whole fucking leg.
I don't know if it would seal the wound or if it would just start like eating away
Yeah, I actually
upwards.
don't know about that. That's probably an incorrect statement to say that it would seal the
I feel like
wound.
it would just eat it away faster, because I wonder if the blood would cause the corrosion to like quicken. With like, I don't know, iron.
You
or
eventually would
something.
run out of acid, like to react for like your body to react with.
Unless
you know what
it's
I mean?
some weird ass acid that like builds
Makes
on
more acid?
blood.
Just it's blood and
Like,
it
what
turns
if-
your blood into acid.
Like, you know how there are some things that if you like a fire, like you feed it and it'll keep going and stuff like that. What if it's an acid and like as it eats away, because it's continuously eating away? It just
Well, but the whole thing is like the eating away is the burning, so to speak,
Right.
of acid versus fire.
Well, like a brown
that is the
recluse.
reaction. So like the fuel for an acid reaction is just more acid.
like a brown recluse, when they bite you,
Yeah.
like that will eat away at your skin.
Yeah, but that's not acid. That's just
Forever.
like a fucking. That's just scary doom magic.
What is
That's
it?
not, I actually don't know.
I'm pretty sure
That is some straight up demon magic. That's what a
Okay.
brown recluse spider is. They are demon
true
magic.
as shit. So it's a venom. Okay, it's not technically acid. It's a venom, right?
Venom. Okay.
So venom probably has different properties than acid would directly.
Think about like you know, you ever see that video of what rattlesnake venom does to blood?
Yeah.
Where it just makes it all coagulate. Like,
In the little wine glass.
so wouldn't that essentially stop the bleeding? But isn't that also a problem because it stops the flow of blood too?
if
I know
it's
that's how
like
rattlesnakes fuck you up.
venom, though.
Yeah, because it just thickens your blood up to a point where it can't carry shit.
Yeah, I mean, like if a rattlesnake bit your leg off and also like injected.
Some 40-foot rattlesnake just snapped your leg off like a twig.
Like an anaconda just pops up and it's just like, hey, takes your leg, and then but it injects a little.
Imagine if an anaconda had fangs. How fucking scary that would be.
I mean,
those giant, the flip out ones like a cobra has or like a rattlesnake has, you know.
See, then them puncturing you with those fangs and injecting a little bit of their venom is like a mercy almost.
Yeah.
Because like,
I guess better than getting squished.
If they bite your leg off and then like you're bleeding out, but then they get you a little bit with some venom. I mean, it's gonna stop the bleeding. I guess you have a slightly longer chance.
What would be a worse way to die? Like dying of rattlesnake venom slowly, which is just like your blood slowly coagulating over time until like everything hurts and you die, or getting squeezed out by an anaconda or a python. Because one is suffocating, and the other is just like, I guess it's also technically suffocating because you're both dying of no oxygen to your body.
I think it depends on how quickly your blood coagulates.
It seemed quick as fuck in that video.
Yeah, so
instantaneous.
I would say, because typically when snakes do that like coiling thing where you like get squished, that's a pretty slow process.
Yeah.
They don't like coil quickly. They just like slowly wrap tighter and tighter and tighter.
How strong the thing goes squeezing. Like an anaconda is strong enough to just squeeze the air out of you as opposed to waiting for you to exhale. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure like if it's pulling in like a bite, whatever kind of big game they pull in, like a gator or something like that.
I mean, I feel like if you tried to hold your breath, your lungs would just pop.
Eventually, yeah. But like, I think like an animal like a gator or something like that, something that's just built stronger, could probably just like, I don't know if they could
built different.
Yeah, they're built different. I don't know if an anaconda could squeeze it so much out of there as opposed to just wait for them to exhale and then lock on when they're in the shallow breath. You know, gators are built different. They have a brain this big, and all they know is chomp, chomp, chomp.
I'm thinking about yesterday
and fuck monkey,
and the research I had to do about butterbox babies and like how they were talking about squeezing all the semen in for their time on the port.
Oh my god! Yeah, squeezing all the semen into the ship or something like that.
Squeezing all the semen into their time on the port, so that way they could go and visit the ladies, and then basically knock them all up and cause them to have children that they didn't want.
Yep, that's the thing.
To be sold on the black market.
That is kind of what we did in Vietnam and Korea. Just send a bunch of soldiers over there and get a bunch of people pregnant. And this is going a weird turn. Okay. I didn't need to go there with it.
That's okay. So yeah, I don't know. I think being dying from the venom would probably hurt more.
Oh, definitely, I think it would hurt more.
But
I
think
quicker.
Yeah. But it would also depend on how much you got in you. Because if it was only enough to slowly turn your blood versus like enough to like quickly turn your blood.
Also, I don't think they'd wait until you're dead to start eating the anaconda. I think they would start doing the swallow you whole thing while you're still alive, and I think you'd be at least conscious for part of it.
Would it hurt?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah?
To get swallowed whole.
Why?
I feel like it'd just be a constant constriction.
Because they don't have like teeth.
They do have teeth. Just
not like in the.
Well, no, but
their
body's gonna be constantly squeezing you, and then eventually you're gonna hit digestive juices and shit. Like they gotta shit you out somehow.
Right. I wonder, what is the pressure of that, like motion of them? Like,
I wonder how long it takes them to digest something like that.
I mean, a typical snake, it usually takes 3 to 5 days to like digest a mouse.
Okay, so it has to be longer if it's bigger. I'd assume so, at least, because it's taking in so much more
bigger digestive tract.
Yeah, but
bigger.
That's a good question, because I know gators can eat like once every fucking week, or even less, depending on the size of the meal they're eating. So like, I wonder if an anaconda is just like built in a way where if they eat, say, 100 pounds of meat, if they could just like live off that for a month or so. We need John Voight's character from Anaconda for this one. You remember when he was playing a Colombian or something like that? He's playing a South American. John Voight, the white man. He's just like, these
the
snakes,
90s were a different time.
You see these snakes? They're very big snakes, Mr. Ice Cube. Mr. Ice Cube, these big snakes, they eat you. They don't wait for you to not. And it's just like, John, I don't think this is the right voice you want to be using for this thing.
The 90s were built different.
The 90s were built different. Mr. Ice Cube.
So they're said to supposedly attack humans more frequently during the wet months in the Gobi Desert, which are typically around like June and July. These worms are basically said to exist, absorbing oxygen through their skin and carrying it throughout their bodies. So I think it comes, yeah. So I think they are kind of just like chilling under the ground for a lot of their time.
You know what? That so the Gobi Desert's in Mongolia, right, and in northern China. Do you think this is a legend that Mongolians told their kids because they're nomads? They're steppe nomads. What if there was a whole generation of Mongolians who's like, fuck that, let's settle down, let's settle in one spot. And the parents are like, we can't because the worms will get us. We got to keep moving. And they just told him that.
You got to get off the ground because the worms are coming.
Yeah, we got to get on the horses, man, the fucking worms. And then
I mean, it would make sense.
We got to go kill the Chinese, man, the worms are coming.
It would make sense, especially if they didn't want to have to travel during the wet months.
The Chinese built the wall, now the worms are all trapped here. What if that's why they built the Great Wall of China? Is to stop the worms.
Keep the worms out?
Let's keep the worms out.
No.
The fucking worms, man. We need a wall.
But yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense, especially if they didn't want to travel in the rain and stuff like that. And they were just like trying to scoop everybody like into another place as soon as possible. They were just like, we can't be out on the ground at night. The worms will get us.
That's kind of funny. It's funny to think of.
If you run, the worms will find you.
I wonder if, a lot of the time they'll hunt with falcon. They'll hunt with a falcon. And I think the verb is actually I know falconeer is the word, so I wonder if the verb is falcon. But, to falcon. But I wonder if, one of them ever sent out one of their birds and it came back with one of these fucking worms. And
you were just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. See, this is funny. It's this is much more of a plausible thing to me than the majority of, cryptids that we talk about.
Could a falcon lift up a 5-foot-long worm?
Maybe not, definitely not a 5-foot one. But, a harpy eagle could pick up a child. And there used to be eagles in Moa Island in New Zealand that were fucking giant.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure their birds existed at some point. They could lift up one of these fucking things. But also, I'm sure
birds don't exist.
I'm sure birds aren't real. I'm sure they're small enough. I wonder if they're small. They gotta be smaller than 5 feet at some point.
Right. I mean, they gotta grow into it.
They gotta grow up.
We just don't know. Okay. Well,
how big is a teenage worm? My life is a teenage worm.
I think. I can't assume that they are
desert worm.
Very thick. So, I mean, maybe it's 5 feet long and just an inch around.
Yeah, what if they're just little tubes? Little
I feel like that wouldn't be very scary though. And why?
It'd still be fucking scary, I think. Some 5-foot sandworm coming at you. I think they'd call it a snake at that point though.
Right.
I feel like they would rather mistake.
But it doesn't have the head, which is probably why they don't call it a snake. And maybe it doesn't have bones in the spine like a snake does.
Someone picked it up. So there's a I'm gonna take a quick tangent here. There's a story about I saw it it was a screenshot of a thread. It might have been on 4chan or something like that, but it was a screenshot of a thread about a kid who was went camping and saw a rattlesnake really close to him, and in panic he picked it up by its tail and just started swinging it around so it couldn't bite him, and then whacked it against a tree and it said vaporized against a tree. And I'm sure it's a bullshit story, but imagine one of these people picking up this worm and it's just fucking malleable. And they're like, what the hell?
It won't die.
Yeah, just whacking it against shit. And
oh
just
my god!
Keeps
Have
going
you
back.
seen a rattlesnake in person out here yet?
Yeah, a couple of them.
They're awful.
They're scary as fuck. Yeah, and their head is the flat, wide head like a viper. Freaks me out.
Mm-hmm. I had one. I went hiking with a friend and their dog was walking just a little bit ahead of me, and it didn't even do its little thing. It just jumped across the hiking trail, and we just saw a little squealy thing.
I don't think they would do the rattle if they're gonna run, right? That's a last resort, holding their ground thing.
I don't know. The dog went over to check out what just flew through the air, and then that's when it was so we had to
they're scary as shit. So something about snakes. I don't think they definitely don't look at humans as prey animals, and I'm pretty sure venomous snakes vipers, cobras, rattlesnakes. I'm pretty sure they bite or use venom specifically to kill prey. Mm-hmm. Besides defense and shit, so I think they'd rather not bite someone if they can avoid it. So I feel like they always do it when scared,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see that. I think they don't even use their venom and stuff on prey if they don't have to, because they typically would just do that coil thing.
Yeah, don't they have? I don't know if they have a limited amount. They produce it, don't they? Mm-hmm. Don't they have glands that
Yeah, you can milk them.
That's so fucking funny.
Imagine being the first guy
milk the snake
to do that.
You don't think it's a conscious response?
No, I don't think so. Because of the way that it looks when they're actively milking them. Yeah, that's just a weird thing to say. Milking anything sounds weird.
Milk is not a good verb.
No, I feel like it's not as bad as moist, but it's not as It's not very good either.
I had someone try to make damp a thing in my high school, and that's worse. That's because damp sounds moldy. Moist doesn't necessarily have to be moldy. Damp is moldy in my head. Like, damp is something that's been wet for weeks.
I think people that have been in the Midwest would probably feel that way, but people that live in, like, California or something, that's, like, not
What are they? Because shit isn't damp out here. It's too dry in the environment.
Right. So when you have like a damp cloth.
Yeah.
So that's not, like,
You're
gross.
like, for me, I think damp. I think of like, oh, my basement flooded.
That's 100. Like, the first thing that my brain goes to is like a damp carpet in a basement. That's like, it's like raining or snowing outside, so the air just has like moisture in it, and like you go in there, and it's got that like weird smell.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know exactly.
Yeah, it's always like an orange or green shag carpet.
Shag carpet. It's disgusting. We used to get in my basement growing up. We used to get those giant centipedes. You know what I'm talking about? Those ones that are like this long.
No thanks.
And like I would just find like their carcasses, so to speak, like either their shedded skin or their dead bodies. And
you get roaches out here.
And yeah, we never got roaches back home. Like I first saw a cockroach out here, and I know they existed back there, but it was like you would be filthy to get roaches back there. And here it's just like they're everywhere.
They just crawl up the drains.
So disgusting, man. So disgusting. Such a shitty animal. Why do they exist?
No one has been able to actually catch a photo or video of these specific worms, even though people have been trying since the 1920s.
Jeez.
First person to ever try and actually gain like footage or documentation of the worm was Roy Chapman. He was the first Western researcher who basically told the story from all the people in Mongolia.
Okay.
You know, they were like, yeah, we used to travel a lot. There are worms in the desert.
That's scary.
He was the first Westerner to be made aware of the legend and was granted access to stay in the actual like desert and stuff because it wasn't really something people could do at that time. China's always been kind of a closed-off place, especially to Westerners.
Yes.
And while trying to search, he ended up looking through over 500,000 square miles of sand and basically never came up with anything. And they continued to look through this time, and there's been separate research groups that have continued going, and like technology is getting better, and they still haven't found anything. Cryptozoologists believe that the Mongolian translation of deathworm may actually be incorrect, and that the creature may be more likely to be a reptile. So now they're looking for
like a lizard or something.
Yeah, a lizard or a snake maybe. And now we're looking for a worm, and we're just like, oh, that's not it. It's a snake. So the research continues.
I'm sure if they found a giant death lizard or a little death snake, I'm sure they would have brought that up too, though.
I don't know. Would you gloss over the fact that you found just like a cute little lizard, or would you continue to investigate it and see if it had the venom?
Lizard. They're saying, oh, that's true. That's true. Because like a Gila monster, I'm sure when they first saw them, they're like, oh, look at that little guy. Mm-hmm. And then they found out they're venomous.
Yeah.
So, there might have been, what if there was just like some Mongolian subspecies? Where did they come from?
Well, like Mongolia is super old, right? Like people have been out there forever.
Yeah.
What if the rumor of this like worm came out when the lizards were like newts? They had like little tiny baby arms, and so maybe they thought it was like a worm or a snake kind of thing, but really it was just a lizard that hadn't hit its prime now.
Well, there wouldn't be newts in a desert.
Well, I just mean like how they have those little tiny arms. So now it's like more evolved and it has full arms.
What if it literally just like evolved in the last couple 2,000 years or so? I mean,
yeah, and now it has like full-fledged arms to like get through the desert because the little ones weren't doing it.
Like I'm picturing a lizard that like just has human arms essentially, and like uses them essentially like a freestyle swimmer to like just dig through the desert.
Probably.
Right, like
especially on that loose like top sand like bit. So during the 90s, the 90s and early 2000s, there were actually multiple groups that attempted to find the creature using a motor-driven thumper. So that, for some reason, really reminds me of Tremors, but I don't recall them using anything.
They used something like that in Jurassic Park to map out the
So they basically do tiny explosions and then try to draw out the worms to see if they could find anything. And so far, nothing has really came out. In the 1950s, there was a little bit of a peak of people claiming to have seen the worms, but of course, nobody has caught in a picture or anything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Mongolian death worm continues to be a rumor and to be searched for.
That's something that sounds way more plausible to me than
Chimp-A-Gators.
The Chimp-A-Gator.
Any questions, comments, or concerns about the honey badger or the Mongolian death worm? Not honey badger, the Honey Island swamp monster.
Yeah, Honey Island swamp monster. Well, I have a lot of concerns about a honey badger. I However, the swamp monster, not so much. I think gators have 5 brain cells, and those brain cells are devoted to chomping, sitting, swimming, and fucking chimps. Apparently, and the 5th brain cells of it.
Rolling.
The 5th brain cells of a floater.
The spin.
Yes, rolling. Yes, that's the 5th one.
Well, there's usually always some concerns, so I guess we can go ahead and end it here then.
I'm Joey.
My name's Dalton, and we're the Boo Boys. Go ahead and make sure that you follow us on all of our social media. We are the most active on Instagram, but we are on Twitter and Reddit and YouTube and pretty much everything else. So go ahead and give us a follow. Bye.
Bye.
You always forget to say bye.